Our planet is facing an unprecedented crisis as we continue to wrestle with the impacts of coronavirus. With its unparalleled technical and scientific expertise, NASA has joined the fight against the pandemic. On April 1st, NASA launched an agency-wide call for ideas for how we could leverage our unmatched capabilities to help the nation during this trying time. From oxygen hoods to ventilators, NASA engineers and scientists have developed concepts and worked with partners to quickly respond to the worldwide pandemic.
Hello everyone, I'm Marina Jureka with NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and welcome to another virtual episode of NASA Science Live. Today we are taking you across the country to hear from NASA experts who are working tirelessly to respond to the global COVID-19 pandemic. From supercomputing efforts and oxygen helmets being developed in California to sanitizing technologies developed in Ohio, here are some of the ways NASA has contributed to help combat this global health crisis. Last month, NASA's Space Apps COVID-19 Challenge invited coders, entrepreneurs, scientists, designers, storytellers, builders, artists, and others to use data from NASA and other space agencies to design solutions related to COVID-19. In just 2 days, more than 15,000 people from 150 countries around the world registered to participate in the global hackathon, creating over 1,400 products ranging from mobile apps, websites, music, art, and more. Challenge winners will be announced in August. In the meantime, you can visit covid19.spaceappschallenge.org to learn more. A NASA supercomputer, usually used for Earth science research, is now being leveraged to study COVID-19. Among other plans, 2 researchers from NASA's Ames Research Center in California are using the powerful computer to study genetic risk factors and more. Researchers at NASA's Langley Research Center in Virginia and the National Institute of Aerospace are lending their expertise in computational fluid dynamics to better understand the flow of a person's breath through an N95 mask. Results from their study ultimately could help engineers design mask filters that last longer and keep out more harmful particles. Johns Hopkins University is incorporating NASA Earth science data, such as temperature, humidity, and rainfall, in its online COVID-19 dashboard, a leading model of coronavirus spread. While it's too soon to draw any connections between environmental factors and the spread of COVID-19, researchers say that pulling in the full arsenal of NASA Earth observations could help us learn more about this disease. For regular updates on efforts around the agency, visit nasa.gov/coronavirus. While some members of the NASA family have directed their efforts to help combat the COVID-19 pandemic, others continue to work on NASA missions. But like many others around the world, they're doing it from their homes.
Hi, I'm Janelle Wellens, and I'm an engineer at JPL.
I'm Mike Greglich McKeon, and I'm a space weather forecaster with NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center.
Hi everyone, my name is Ines Soto Ramos. I am the data manager for exports and CBAS at the Ocean Ecology Lab, NASA Goddard.
I'm Armin Sarushian.
My name is Mamta Patel Nagaraja.
I'm Jory, and I'm the live producer director for NASA headquarters.
Hi, my name is Nisu Okan, and I work on the Mars Perseverance rover.
I'm Stephanie Oy, and I work at NASA JPL as a Mars Curiosity rover driver.
Look, you can even see a small eruption that's going on as we speak.
And I couldn't get away without mentioning my furry pal, Luna.
Across the house is my coworker who's busy playing toys most of the days.
So this is my desk setup. I am in my loft working on a yard sale table. I am monitoring the social media accounts for the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope while also making some edits to some possible social pieces.
I would like to give you a quick tour of virtual exhibit. Here we are at the lobby of American Astronomical Society.
In the kitchen is my second coworker who's busy on a Zoom meeting.
At JPL, I work on the autonomy for multi-agent systems, like these small-scale rovers called Puffers right here, which work together as a team to explore the moon and other places. Normally we would be at JPL testing out in the Mars yard, but these days we're testing right here in my backyard.
We can do all of our robotic test planning from right here in my kitchen with some fun decorations.
And you can see while I'm working from home, I do have some new co-workers. There's lots of dancing, lots of laughter, sometimes crying, theirs and mine. But we're getting through these times. Hi.
To do operations remotely, we wear 2 headsets. On one ear, we talk to the other rover planners, and on the other ear is the rest of the uplink team. Ellie seems to like my new look.
The pre-planning was done from right here. And this is my home office. It's also my personal creative space as evidence. It's one of my paintings.
I'm gonna keep my voice down a little bit because my other coworker is on a telecon.
Working from home is definitely different, but at least I get to enjoy small perks like getting to wear my gaming headset each day.
It's been a challenge working at home. It's been different, sort of a blessing in disguise because I get to spend more time with my family. But I have more duties at home as a father since we don't have daycare anymore. So it's a little bit more challenging to do my work, but it's all fun spending time with this little guy.
I am outside enjoying the nice weather with my new co-worker who is cleaning a little bit, and while I work with some data for CBUS, here's some of the data I'm working right now. I'm making sure the data is clean and ready to be archived.
I do long for the day for when we can return to normal, but for now we're persevering through this pandemic and working hard to ensure the success of our launch.
But that's it. So I'm looking forward to working with everyone in person again soon.
We've all had to adapt to our workspaces at home, and I had to make a TV studio on top of my china cabinet, as you can see here. And my son loves to bring the dinosaurs into the living room to make sure that we are all having the best time we possibly can, all under one roof. And today we're joined by an engineer who has been working with several partners to build a medical device to help coronavirus patients with their early symptoms.
We're here today doing some of the assembly of the oxygen pressure hoods. We've got a whole bunch of tables set up, spaced apart, a collaboration between TSC and NASA employees coming together and assembling these in sort of like a production line setup. You can see at each different station there's something else kind of going on. We are looking in the end to produce about 500 hoods. And so far things are going pretty well. You can see we have a hood here, it's about halfway done. And it'll be jumping through a couple more stations in order to put the seal on the bottom, add the straps, and then ultimately do a quality inspection on the unit.
Mike Buttigieg, welcome to the show.
Hi Marina, thank you for having me.
Now, Mike, your team at Armstrong Flight Research Center has partnered with Antelope Valley Hospital, the City of Lancaster, Virgin Galactic, the Spaceship Company, and Antelope Valley College to create these innovative solutions for possible shortages of critical medical equipment. And you are involved in an effort to build a prototype oxygen helmet that doctors are testing for future use. Can you tell us exactly what a positive pressure hood is? I understand it's like a CPAP helmet. How does it help patients that have COVID-19?
Sure. The CPAP helmet works essentially by having an enclosed space over a patient's head. Doing this does three major things for us. So the first is that by encapsulating the person's head, we're able to pressurize it, and by pressurizing the bag, we're able to inflate the person's lungs. So as you can imagine, when a patient has COVID-19, the lung capacity is reduced. So by pressurizing their lungs, we make the remaining area of those lungs be more effective than if it was not pressurized. The second major point is we're able to then take that enclosed space and also fill it up with pure oxygen. So by filling it up with pure oxygen, we're able to take that remaining space in the lungs and take it even further. This again further increases the recovery ability of a COVID patient. The last and very important point of having this helmet is that there's a seal around the neck, and it prevents any air from escaping the person as they're breathing. So there's an exhalation valve, which is filtered, so all the COVID air is sort of trapped before it leaves the patient's helmet.
Now, as you said, it takes a village, Mike, and you all had an idea, but it was a huge collaborative effort. How did you all work together from so many different places?
Sure. So we had a team put together by one of the major aerospace companies here. It was comprised of, again, other aerospace companies, a local college, our hospital, and city leadership. So when we all came together, it was very quickly we were able to kind of understand the same language, as many of us were engineers or very focused on a very specific goal. So what made the team so effective is not so much the ideas that have come out of them. Obviously, those are very important, but it's the culmination of all the players that make it a very impactful type of mission. So what I mean by that is that if you have a great idea, it's like, okay, well, how do we grow that to impact our city or our state or our country or even the world? In order to do that, we have to have people from many different disciplines that are able to provide those major key points. So that might be, you have inventors, you have implementers, you have funding managers, you have lawyers, you have doctors, and we had all those different types of people on the team that were able to make a really big difference. The last point I want to make is that with any effective team, we need to have a common goal. Obviously, the common goal here is helping COVID patients. And so when a team shares such a strong goal, the possibilities are endless with how much you can help.
That's amazing when everyone can come together with that one common goal. And you said it's a very simple device, but it requires extensive testing. It's taken over a lot of your time.
It sure has. About 2 months of my life was pretty much dedicated to developing this hood.
And we've all had to get a little creative with our work and at-home spaces. I know earlier I showed you that I had to turn my living room into a TV studio, and it looks like I'm talking to you from a garage. Is that your home lab?
It is. This is the garage where I spent a lot of my time developing the hoods and doing some testing, and it's worked out great.
It looks really great, and you were able to have a lot of the things that you need right there on hand, which is great.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Mike.
All right, thank you, Marina.
NASA employees met the need with the speed of response, and the Aerospace Valley Task Force stepped up to the plate with not only these oxygen hoods, they've worked on protective enclosures, safe oxygen distribution systems, and 3D printing for mass production of low-cost medical needs, just to name a few, as they continue to move forward in this effort. Another urgency is to supply ventilators, and it has become a top priority to medical professionals across the country, but also to NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Their engineers and scientists have embarked on a mission to help provide a solution to the nationwide ventilator shortage. Let's take a look.
We are designing an easy and rapidly mass manufacturable ventilator device, and it is a crazy project.
This crisis is unprecedented in our lives and requires unprecedented action.
I'm so amped up. I mean, it really, the adrenaline rush, it's exciting, but it's exhausting. And I think we all just want to do everything we can to try to help.
You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome.
I would say the biggest personal challenges that I have myself is I don't have time to sleep.
I think what JPL brings to the table is extraordinary talent. It also brings to the table tremendous innovation. The third thing it brings to the table is tremendous focus. The other thing that I felt, I see it in our team, and that is a call to duty. I have this talent, I'm an engineer or a scientist, I can do something.
we have the potential to save human lives, people that we might know, our neighbors, our families. And that intensity, it's amazing. It's amazing. And as stressful as this has been for everybody in the last couple of weeks, not one of us can stop.
Teams at JPL have created additional products such as respirators and even an infrared pendant to warn you not to touch your face, and have made those open source on GitHub for the community to build and refine. As you can see, everyone wants to do their part. As NASA engineers and scientists are studying what can be done to further aid COVID-19 patients, they also are conducting research to see how we can further minimize the spread of the viruses in spaces such as ambulances and hospitals. We're joined by Marit Meyer, a researcher at NASA's Glenn Research Center in Cleveland, who is working with a private company to develop an aerosol product that could disinfect enclosed spaces like classrooms and offices. Marit, thank you so much for joining us.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
And you are joining us from a little bit of a noisy location, a home to you though, for sure.
Yes, I'm in the laboratory here at Glenn Research Center, and the ventilation system is very loud, but that's an important part of our safety protocol, so I can't turn it off. Sorry.
Oh, no problem at all. Now, you're an aerosol expert. It's pretty fascinating. Can you explain a little bit about what that means and why it's come into the limelight during this fight against COVID-19?
I always tell people that aerosols are tiny particles in air, and most people have usually associated the word aerosol with deodorant or hairspray. So I've been educating people, but now that we have a pandemic and people are becoming aware of droplets coming out of their mouth when they breathe, when they talk, then everyone has a heightened awareness, and people are beginning to know what the word aerosol really means. And everyone in the aerosol community is stepping up to educate the world about what we know.
And Marit, it's all about education. That's so important so we understand. Now, you are working on a disinfectant fogger. Your work with the Life Support Systems program addresses the air quality in really tight quarters like the International Space Station. How do you think that research there will help you when you develop this particular fogger?
So when I started looking into the air quality on the space station, I started by doing an inventory of what I believed were the pollutant particles that were floating around up there for the astronauts to breathe. And I did an inventory which started with a table from the space shuttle era, and they had listed cough and sneeze droplets. At that time, I didn't think that was a very important source of aerosols in a tight quarters of the space station. However, now that we've had a pandemic, I see cough and sneeze droplets completely differently. It really is important to understand how they transport, how long they last before they evaporate. They can all be carrying viable viruses if they are exhaled from an infected person, for example. So the disinfectant fogger that we're going to be working with here is a way to get rid of all of the pollutant particles that have any kind of viable virus or bacteria in it. And we're working with the second generation of this fogger, helping the company optimize the settings. I'm going to measure the particle size distribution to understand the fate and transport of these droplets and how much we need of the disinfectant to disperse to be able to disinfect large spaces such as classrooms, places of worship, concert venues, etc.
Yes, I remember you telling me this is much more powerful, this second generation fogger. And you mentioned you're partnering with the emergency product and research team, and you'd like to get this prototype cheap enough for all customers and get people back to work. That's been such a huge effort. Why do you think this product is going to help keep the economy, or at least get the economy up and running again?
Well, we've all been sheltering in place and it's been very difficult. Now we're beginning to be able to go out and be in public spaces again, and people need to have confidence that these spaces are clean. We have to clean in new ways that we never cleaned before, and this disinfectant fogger can be used inexpensively in any kind of business, and it's really great to be able to help kind of with the effort to get America up and running again, to get businesses open and have people feel comfortable going out in public again. And I have a great team of colleagues here at NASA Glenn in my branch that are helping me with this exciting work. And we just are happy to be able to make a contribution. And this is a regional company, a regional project, but it really has the potential to help everyone in America and in the world as well.
That's so amazing, Marit, and consumer confidence is so important, especially as we try to go back to normal. And you've had to get a little bit creative as you have been working. I'm so glad you got to go back to your lab now, but you had to be a little creative over the last few weeks, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And when we first got the disinfectant fogger from the company, we had to meet in a pavilion in my neighborhood park, and my team was there, and our contact gave us a demonstration and explained the whole system out in the pavilion while it was raining cats and dogs around us. So that was like a kind of a makeshift arrangement, but at the time we had to get this communication done, and being out in the open, it's great because you know, we had a lot of fresh air to disperse our exhaled aerosols.
It's scientists like you, Marit, that just want to get the job done and make a global influence. And thank you so much, and good luck with your continued research.
Thanks, it's been great talking to you, Marina.
You too. Now, this has truly been rewarding work. And speaking of our planet, as people across the globe are responding to the implications of COVID-19, many of us have changed our daily habits, including how much we travel. These changes are having an impact on our planet, and NASA scientists are monitoring our globe's response to these unusual times. I'm joined with Barry Leffer, a NASA air quality scientist, to get some perspective on what recent Earth data is telling us. Thank you so much for joining us today, Barry.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to talk to you today.
Now, Barry, tell us more about the changes that we're seeing across the planet in the recent months since these stay-at-home efforts have been in place. It's very unusual. So have there been any changes in the Earth's atmosphere or, say, the Earth's air quality?
Yes, there have. We've done this unintended global experiment by reducing the transportation, that's automobiles and aircraft, these stay-at-home orders. And NASA satellites are sampling day and night around the world. And so even though our activity has been decreased, the ability to observe these changes hasn't. And we've seen dramatic reductions in the pollutants being emitted from these activities initially in China and Italy, and then as these stay-at-home orders spread to other countries in the United States, and most recently in South America.
And these have been really trying times, but you're learning so much about it. And as folks continue to stay at home and you continue to decipher through more and more of this data in the coming months, what have you learned from where we've seen so far, and how are we going to use this material to move forward into the future?
Yeah, we're trying to make the best of this bad situation. So we're taking these lemons and making lemonade out of it. And we've seen that what we understand about air pollution, it's really testing our ability to see how well can we forecast air pollution, how well, and it also highlights how people's actions really make a large difference. Just by by thinking about taking a trip, do you really need to take that trip? I learned that I don't have to go to work every day, that I can do a lot of the stuff that I normally do just from home, and in the process polluting less. And so and all these advantages, all these things that we do that emit less air pollution also emit a less CO2, and so there's a climate benefit as well.
It's fascinating to see this direct correlation, and what I think is so key is the education. And NASA and its partners are putting together this incredible dashboard in a browser so everyone can see the environmental impacts of staying at home. And how do you think that this will help educate people about their personal environmental footprint?
Yeah, this is really a unique opportunity. We can harness all the capabilities of our international partners working together. The different space agencies measure different things, and by putting this joint dashboard together, our hope is people will be able to see how the things they do every day do make a difference. It's easy to be overwhelmed by these really large environmental problems, but it turns out your day-to-day activities really do matter. And it's not just driving in your car or taking air travel, but also where you get your electricity from. And so this unintended experiment has helped us understand how important our daily decisions are, and how we can make a difference and improve the planet.
And Barry, what a lot of people don't understand is that air pollution can have a drastic effect on people worldwide.
You're right. More than 7 million people die every year from air pollution-related illnesses, and the millions more have reactions to air pollution, such as asthma. And so those people are seeing, those people that are sensitive to air pollution are noticing that they're breathing easier. And it's great that some cities now have started to block off some of their streets to traffic, and having more opportunities for biking and other forms of walking through their urban neighborhoods, ways they hadn't been able to do until now.
Oh, I know. My colleagues and I have said that as well. Just walking around our neighborhood, we get to see so many beautiful things that we wouldn't have had a chance to otherwise. So like you said, making lemons out into lemonade. So Barry, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Humans are connected through Earth's vivid blue oceans, lush green lands, and the human experiences we share together on our planet. However, we are now connected by a greater commonality, the shared goal to fight coronavirus. Here at NASA, we reach for new heights and reveal the unknown for the benefit of humankind. We are all in this together. We asked some of our NASA family to share a few words about what inspired them to work on these projects.
Hi everyone. My name is Sarah Hemmings.
My name is Yvonne Ivy.
My name is Piyush Mehrotra.
My name is Afshin Beheshti.
My name is Michelle Easter.
My name is Shobana Gupta. This pandemic has affected each and every one of us in unique and challenging ways. I am very inspired to see people from different backgrounds coming together and sharing their ideas, creativity, and talents to find solutions together.
Because I believe that mass collaboration can solve some of the most pressing issues we face on Earth.
We can actually do something as scientists, and globally everyone can come together to solve this problem as quickly as possible. And it's a great feeling to be part of something that could potentially expedite and help find a cure quicker than possible individually.
It's been an incredible experience to work with these scientists and content developers across all of the agencies, and I'm extremely excited for others to see how science can really expand our understanding of this global pandemic.
I'm very pleased and excited because I personally, along with the staff in my division, could play a role and have an impact in understanding the disease and possibly controlling the pandemic.
It's been an incredibly inspiring experience, and probably the most impactful thing that I've gotten out of it is just a feeling of empowerment about what we can do when we team together and we use our technical mindsets during an otherwise powerless situation. We can really empower ourselves and each other. It's been incredible. Thank you for letting me be a part of it.
For more information on how NASA will continue its efforts, please visit nasa.gov/coronavirus. Again, thank you so much for joining us here today on NASA Science Live. Be well and be safe.